Welcome to Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. I am your host, Dave West, codename Phantom Troublemaker.
And I am your co-host, Noel Wood, codename Crapshoot.
And I'm your Cobra intern who apparently got way too much Florida sun, codename Legion Cub.
And who is now communicating with us from the bottom of a barrel.
Yes. I'm developing film.
We have all been extraordinarily busy. I personally worked 84 hours in the last 8 days, which is a horrible way to live. But I got to spend a little time with my family last night and today. And now I'm with my Audible Interlude family, which is just warming my heart. Thanks for showing up, everybody. We'll check in with the chat in a couple of minutes here. We got, once again, the show was looking a little bare bones for a while, and now we've got so much to discuss that we've already got one segment that I think we're going to have to push back to next time. But that's okay because there's always plenty of G.I. Joe to talk about. How are you fellas doing tonight?
Tired, recovering.
Aren't we all?
Yes.
Kristian, how's your lovely shade of, is that a chartreuse you've got going on down there?
It is down here in the pits of Florida, where it is currently storming. I'm still trying to work out some kinks with the new computer and my camera settings. So
we will hope that we do not lose
the snozberries are tasting like snozberries.
Oh, you are? You're turning violet. You can follow us on Instagram at Audible Interlude Podcast. That is the best place to interact with us, the best place to get updates about new merchandise like this No Sleep Till Augusta shirt that will only be available until Joe Fest starts. And then this specific design will be retired. So check out our pinned stories. Go to our stories. We're putting up links all the time for our merch. We've got a new shirt coming that I'm going to show in just a minute here. New hats are on the way. More of this hat. Probably I am setting up a big cartel site to make it easier to get stuff from us. So all of that coming was supposed to be coming today, but like I said, we've been a little busy. Schedule wise, Needless Things reviewed a lot of stuff lately. The first wave of Super 7 Ultimates, all of those reviews are posted and complete now. The Crimson Bat review of this fella is up. And I got to say, I've seen some complaints about him online. I didn't really have any problems with the guy. I really like this figure quite a bit. I did not cancel the one that I've got coming from Pulse because I want to have two. I'm going to have Tomac Samot, two Crimson Guards, two Crimson Bats. And then if the retro Crimson Guards from Walmart ever come, then they'll go on that shelf too. Also, we'll save that for new stuff. Shirts. So shirts, we've got these shirts. We've got AI Pod shirts, Audible Interlude shirts, all kinds of shirts. And this will be exclusive to Joe Fest. You will only be able to get this shirt at Joe Fest 2023. However, we're putting together a way to take pre-orders if you need a specific size. For instance, an extra large tall. I hear somebody out there needs that. We will be taking pre-orders for these that you will be able to pick up at Joe Fest, but we will also have some actually on hand just to sell. This is the Joe Fest limited tour shirt based on the original No Sleep Till Brooklyn Beastie Boys tour shirt design. Once again, by our friend Slickalicious. Check out Shop Slickalicious on Instagram. Lots and lots and lots of awesome designs up there. If your wallet is just aching to be wounded, go check out Shop Slickalicious. The link is in the bio. Tons of cool stuff up there. He designed this one and that one. And we have more stuff in the works. So there are actually some designs that have been kind of sitting in the back of my head for years and years that he is going to bring to life. So I'm very glad to have him as a partner for the show. What else we got? Oh, tomorrow. You guys, we've got a special treat for him tomorrow.
Woohoo!
I interviewed Darren and Matt from Whiskey Jack Toys, the guys behind Legends of the Hidden Force, the new O-ring martial arts themed toy line that's currently on Kickstarter. Everybody needs to go check it out. We did an hour-long interview talking about their work putting the project together, how they made certain decisions about the project, just everything about this awesome toy line that is going to be a great thing to incorporate into your Joes, your call sign Longbow, your Operation Recall, like this O-ring resurgence that's going on that Hasbro for some reason is at the like tail end of. So that goes up tomorrow morning. The audio version will be available wherever you get your podcasts. The video version will be available right here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. And I put a little extra into this one. It's going to be fun to watch. But if you listen in the car or whatever, then we've got the audio version covered as well. So check that out tomorrow. That is April the 11th. This episode you're watching right now is going to be available this Friday, wherever you find your podcasts. And then next week, we will have our regular audio episode up next Friday. So we give you something every week. It's just every other week we do the little live recording, basically, is what this is. And then what else we got? We got a lot of schedule stuff this time around. Our next live stream will be on April the 24th. I am working on a special guest right now. We are working on our Joe Fest plans. There are things that I cannot share yet, but we have made contact with the mayor of Joe Fest, and he has given us his blessing to proceed ahead with certain things that we have proposed. So Audible Interlude will be at Joe Fest in an official capacity. We're putting it all together, and we will announce it when the time is right. And then finally, Cobra Convergence is back in 2023. Noel, do you want to tell us a little bit about Cobra Convergence?
So Cobra Convergence is it's a crossover promotion. A lot of people in the G.I. Joe, I guess, fanosphere, you could call it. I don't know if that's the right word. But Hooded Cobra Commander 788, if you're familiar with him, he was the one who got it off the ground along with Kevin from Form BX2 and a couple of other big toy reviewers on YouTube. Initially, there were just, they would basically each one of them do like one a week, and there was only like 3 or 4 original people involved. But I mean, he's expanded it. There's so many more people that are involved in this hobby now, in this fandom now, that are putting out great content. So last year we got to participate for the first time. There were over 30 participants last year, and everybody got a day, and some people had to double up on days. So but tons of great content. You'll spend, many hours enjoying lots of people talking about G.I. Joe, and usually there's some sort of theme. And last year we had a bit of a theme, and this year we're going to another little theme. So it should be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know if the theme has been announced publicly yet, so I'm not going to say what it is, but it's more of a direction. Like if you want to engage with the theme, you can and do your own thing. You know how we are. We're going to find our own spin on whatever this is. But also people are invited to participate and do whatever they want. But it's a great way to get a lot of Joe fans together and get exposure for we're still brand new, really. So it's great for us to be a part of this and to be able to interact and engage with these other Joe. I hate the term content provider, but that's what we all are. So the big news is we will have Hooded Cobra Commander on our June 19th live stream. That is on the books. It's happening. And our Cobra Convergence episode, where you know how we like a theme here. So we are going to be diving head on into this year's theme on July the 16th. Is going to be a Sunday live stream for us. So Two big dates coming up. Mark them on your calendar, June 19th and July 16th. Now, we've got other live streams, obviously, around those dates. Those are just two big ones that we've gone ahead and nailed down. So there you go. Any other info that we need to convey? We had a lot to get across there in our opening barrage, if you will.
And that's just the meta stuff.
Right. All right. Let's check in with our chat and see who's here. Mandalorian Jedi, let's do this. Let's do this indeed. Craig Dukas, what is up, man? You're live, pals. Let's see. Happy AI Monday. Happy AI Monday indeed. Kevin Riddle, good evening, guys, and chat. Just finished mowing and showered and ready for some Joe goodness. I appreciate knowing that you're not sitting there stinking of lawn.
Yes.
Because that's one of my least favorite things in the world is that lawn stink. I don't mind a little lawn mowing is okay. It gives you time to think and just be in your own head. But man, when you're done, you got to get in the shower immediately. You can't sit around with that lawn stink. That's no good.
Yeah.
Unless you're Pathfinder. I would imagine Pathfinder is in a constant state of lawn stink. Let's see. Daniel Rodriguez, those look cool. I'm guessing you're talking about the shirts, and yes, they do. Oh, Kevin, yes, the tall sizes are for you. We are, yes, the pre-orders at the second that we get that set up. We're not going to wait for a show to do it. It'll go up on the Audible Interlude podcast Instagram. We'll have links. We'll have the website will be live, ready to go. So yeah, the second that comes together, they're going up. Tommy Throwback, what's up, everyone? You guys are gonna crush it at Joe Fest. Yes, we are, Tommy Throwback. Rich Murphy, hi guys, hi everyone. Kristian's lighting makes him look like what he is drinking.
The blood of my enemies.
All right, it is time to get into this news, fellas. Plastic packaging is back across all Hasbro brands. Here, everybody's seen it by now, but I'm going to read it off anyway because I like to read things. We wanted to share an update on packaging for Hasbro's 6-inch scale figures. Based on your feedback, we will be reintroducing windows and blisters to our 6-inch fan figures beginning later this year into 2024 for select products across our portfolio of brands, including G.I. Joe Classified, Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Star Wars Black Series, and Marvel Legends. This will eventually expand to all new 6-inch figure releases. The new windows and blisters will be made from bio-PET or recycled PET. Well, can one of you explain the PET to me? I could have looked it up, but I didn't.
I heard somebody describing it actually on a Transformers channel. But I don't know.
It's basically like recyclable, biodegradable plastic, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the idea is that it's either plastic that's already recycled or it's a particular type of plastic that breaks down very easily for recycling.
Right.
Here's a secret for those of you who recycle and you recycle plastic, especially. You think you're doing a great job for the earth, but a lot of that stuff just winds up on a boat and goes out and gets buried in a landfill in another country.
Yeah,
because it's very, very difficult to recycle most plastics.
And it's worth mentioning, plastic has been found in baby blood. Just something to think about. We would rather that not happen to the babies. Keep the plastic out of the baby blood. Thank you again for being one of our biggest fans and for your continued support of Hasbro. So, I have been a proponent of the plastic-free packaging. One, because, yes, I would like to reduce the use of single-use plastic where possible, but also I just hate those trays. I've always hated them. It's one of my pet peeves is the tray bending up your accessories or your figures, although people have ended up with bent accessories in the new packaging too. So whatever. But I have noticed for me well, let me ask you guys first, and for the chat, have you noticed over the past however many months that we've had the plastic-free packaging, how has it affected your toy buying habits?
No.
I buy everything I buy pretty much comes from the internet anyway.
So here's what I've noticed. I have not bought anything aside from some stuff for Christmas. I do not do the impulse purchase at retail anymore. Like Marvel Legends have really gotten to the point where if I'm in the store, I'm like, oh, I'd like that character, and I'll grab it. Now price point plays into this as well. I'm not paying $25 for any Marvel Legends figure anymore, or at all. But I have noticed even the clearance ones, I don't know why this is. I am more reluctant to buy a figure if I can't see it. And people said that when this was introduced, and I thought it was dumb. I thought, who cares? You know what it's going to look like. It's right there. What? It doesn't matter. But I'm telling you right now, there are figures, especially the massive clearance stuff that went on like after Christmas and during January. There are a lot of figures I think I probably would have bought if I'd picked it up and they'd been right there in front of me. But with them being in that box, even though there's a picture of the figure on the box, it was just easier to put it down and say, you know what, I don't need that.
Interesting.
Yeah. I would not have expected that. But looking back on my experiences in brick and mortar, that's the case.
Well, I think I mentioned it in our last live stream. I think that some of the artwork on this packaging is amazing, but I think a picture of the toy where that bubble would normally be would have been preferable for me if I were like actually shopping in a store looking for this stuff.
Yeah. But I think Windows coming back, it's nothing but a good thing. You just can't have the market with those figures not visible. And look, I've said it before. I don't understand mint on card collectors, but they are a critical part of the hobby. And I think that window free packaging killed it for a lot of those folks. So
well, look, I don't really understand the mint on card thing either. At the same time, I've got a giant box of reaction figures over there that look fantastic in their packaging, and I don't want to take them out because the packaging is so nice.
Well, and if they were in a little cardboard box, you wouldn't even have bought them in the first place.
No, probably not.
Well, and also, another facet of that, I told you guys about buying that Sergeant Slaughter figure. I was much less wanting to buy it because I would like to get it signed, but it's just not going to look as good with it just being a box with a figure, the art on the front.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not as cool as a nice window, because I've got tons of signed like wrestling figures and stuff, and they have that window with the figure in it and the signature on top is just a great presentation.
Well, I'll be honest with you, really the thing that I've noticed the most with the plastic free packaging is the structural integrity of the boxes seems to be weaker. It feels like they're using a thinner cardboard. I got the Hot Rod and the Starscream from the Transformers reissues that just came out from Walmart, and they both came shipped to me in these boxes that just were like, they just felt so flimsy and lightweight.
Yeah, you can almost like squeeze them.
Yeah, well, the Starscream, in fact, like it's got damaged in shipping because it came from Walmart, but I mean, like, the box was pressed in a little bit and you could see like the bumps of Starscream through the box.
Oh my gosh.
Because they're just like, if they would use a little bit higher quality box, like if you look at the G.I. Joe Walmart exclusives from a couple of years ago, those had really nice cardboard boxes. It was a thin corrugated cardboard, and it was kind of ironic because they were also using the cheapest, thinnest possible cardboard for the carded figures at that time.
Right.
But like, if they could do box like Lego does boxes for especially their larger toys, that's a really like good, thick, solid concrete cardboard.
We do. Let's not get into concrete boxes.
We don't want to do that.
Unless they
speaking of cardboard,
unless they do special packaging for a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive road pig that comes in an actual cinder block.
There you go.
That I'll take some concrete packaging. All right, Kristian, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, so what I would like to see out of this, there are still ways that they can minimize the plastic. Just put the figure in a plastic tray and still give me that locker box with the weapons just wrapped in the paper.
Yeah, I will agree.
I didn't think the locker box was going to be that. Like, I honestly thought that was just something I would throw away.
Yeah.
But they have come in so incredibly handy. And while I'm not an ASMR person, there is something about unwrapping the weapons and also not having them bent up that I really don't want to go back.
Yeah, I would be okay if they wanted to have a small window for the figure. Basically take the new packaging style that we saw and make the part with the art a window, put the figure in there, put that art behind the figure, and then just have the locker in there behind a picture of the accessories.
Yeah.
I think would be a very cool packaging, because I absolutely love that newest design that we saw. If they can preserve that in some way, I think that would be ideal, because those little Easter eggs in the background just added so much to the line.
Yeah.
And gave us plenty of stuff to talk about on this show.
Yeah, right. So we've got lots going on in the chat. Mandalorian Jedi, glad to know they are fixing this mistake. Alan Grant, what's up, Alan? Evening, boys. Yes, I used to buy doubles, now just single figures. See that right there, cutting that revenue in half by doing that. Mandalorian Jedi, I'm not buying as much, but price is a factor too. Ritz Murphy, in the stores, it's easier to pass on it when you can't see the figure. 100%. I agree. Let's see. JJ Holderschelt, most of, and I'm sorry, I butcher your name every single time. JJ, how about JJ? JJ, most of what I purchase is online, so it didn't affect me much. Kevin Riddle, I'm one of those Minton Box guys. Kevin Riddle, you're a tall Minton Box weirdo. We need to get a special Minton Box shirt made just for Kevin. Toy Reclaimer, definitely thinner. Yeah, the thinner, lower quality cardboard on these. Kevin Riddle, my Walmart retros came like 2 drunk Cobra Troopers packed them. It's entirely possible.
I will have you know it was 4 of us. So.
Oh. This didn't come from a Walmart. This came from Hasbro Pulse, but I got my Indiana Jones figures the other day, and I think they just took that box and just stomped on it and kicked it around and smashed it a few times.
Oh no!
Yeah, thankfully the figures inside were okay. The actual figure boxes,
right?
But they were wrapped in that weird cardboard mesh that I guess protected them pretty well.
I like that
That's
stuff
called the
better,
distressed look.
But it's sharp. Like you could cut yourself on that new that cardboard. If ever, I should have brought some down here. It's that interesting to me. It's paper, but it's like cut like fencing almost. It's really weird. But there seems to be less of it. Mandalorian Jedi, if the art behind the figure was a separate card, it would be a cool collectible. Yeah, it could. Well, or it could be do it like Mattel used to do with the WWE figures, where it's like actually a background, like you could sort of fold it out and put the figure in front of it or something.
They've been doing that with their Transformers.
Oh, do they?
It's the Studio 86 figures.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. And then Ritz Murphy has a very good point here. Minton Box collectors want to see the accessories as well. So yeah, that is a good consideration. So but how about this? So again, the black box, same look. The figure is on one side behind the window with the art behind it. And then on the other side, almost have a separation, like maybe the cardboard goes down the middle of the front. So the figure's here and the accessories are lined up on this side. So it's like the loadout is here for each figure. I don't know, something like that might be cool. I've never been a fan of the figure in the middle and look, there are a bunch of hands and guns floating around me. Like that's always been odd to me. I would rather it be presented as here's the Joe, here's their loadout. Like that would be kind of cool. I don't know. We'll see what they do. All right, this next one, I don't know how much time we're really going to spend on this thing because everybody's seen this, I'm sure. And like Clint tweeted that Paramount Pictures is rebooting G.I. Joe and is interested in Michael Keaton. David Ellison is producing. David Ellison has produced lots and lots and lots of like action type stuff. In perusing in like Clint's Twitter feed, there's nothing there that really leads me to believe he's a particularly credible source of information. Like lots of weird casting suggestions and random, I don't know. This stuck out as an odd informational tweet in the middle of a strange Hollywood fantasy stream of consciousness.
But it got shared by everybody.
Right, because of course it did, because we're desperate for G.I. Joe media. My only thought on it is I see Michael Keaton as Cobra Commander, and I think that would be awesome. That's all I got. Could you guys picture him cast as anything else? Like, what could he be?
I mean, he could be a General Hawk or somebody like that who's an older Joe. But I saw people saying like, I don't know if I could see him as Duke. I was like, yeah, me either. He's 70-something years old at this point. Unless you're doing a movie that takes place now with the characters from the 80s aged in real time.
Well, they're doing G.I. Joe Beyond. He's going to be old man Duke, who's running the new young Joe team from some underground, from the pit, which is long ago decommissioned.
Right.
There you go. There's the idea. G.I. Joe Beyond. Hollywood, just pay me. Let me quit my day job that makes me work 84 hours in 8 days. Come on, Hollywood. I'll work cheap comparatively. Basically, we already made this movie last year at Dragon Con. Go back and listen to our Dragon Con episode from 2022. Keep the toys separate from classified. Do your whole range of, 6-inch regular basic stuff. Do as much of it as you want. Maybe you even want to do a 3 3/4 inch line, 4-inch, whatever. Do it. It's fine. Great. But don't number them in sequence with classified. I don't do that again. Or if you are going to, make sure that they aesthetically line up with classified. No, just don't involve them at all. Keep it separate. Why wouldn't you want 2 completely separate toy lines with your brand on it? Do that. You guys have any further thoughts about the potential, the possibilities here, or the credibility of In Like Clint?
Well, when I first saw it, I took it with a grain of salt because we know what happened with the Lady J TV series rumors that we heard almost 2 years ago.
Do we? I don't think we do know what happened.
Well, like I said, 0 things happened with that apparently. But when I saw like all the usual like big G.I. Joe news sources were sharing this story, I was like, well, maybe there's something to this. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I guess it remains to be seen. It's also like it's not they've tapped Michael Keaton to do this. They're like, if Michael Keaton happens to be available after wrapping this movie, we're going to try to get him to do a G.I. Joe movie.
Well, right. It's literally just like fantasy casting at this point. There's nothing to it.
I put no faith in this whatsoever.
No. And look, I'm sure G.I. Joe ideas are bouncing around Paramount. I'm sure they want to figure out a way to make more money off of G.I. Joe. But this
sorry, you mean some money off of G.I. Joe.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. All right, Craig Dukas, I do hope the new Easter eggs on packaging also translates over to the new plastic packaging. Toy Reclaimer, Keaton equals Hawk would be cool. I just loved him so much as a villain in the Spider-Man movies. I want more villainous Keaton. Well, and in that terrible RoboCop remake. Like it was worth watching just to see him in it. Other than that, it's completely disposable. Craig Dukas, wait, no Michael Keaton quick kick? Riot. He would actually, young Michael Keaton actually would have made a good quick kick. Mandalorian Jedi, is Keaton going to play Batman 1989 in G.I. Joe movies too? Yes, it's all getting folded into the Hollywood verse, where all franchises are going to exist in the same continuity in a multiversal manner.
Warner Brothers is desperate for that licensing money, so...
Daniel Rodriguez, Keaton is Raptor. Yes, I will take that as well. He's already Birdman.
I was going to say he played Birdman,
so why not?
He was a bat. He was Birdman. Well, there you go. He's just going to play a bat.
Yeah. Battle Android. True. It'll be like Daniel Craig in what was it, Last Jedi, where Daniel Craig was the stormtrooper and you didn't even know it. It'll be like that. Okay, so I conducted a little experiment recently. I've talked about my pre-order roulette before, where when pre-orders go up, I order from Pulse, Amazon, Big Bad, usually those three. And whoever gets it to me first gets my money. So this time around, because I knew I was going to be so busy and just was not going to have time for new figures, I've got a stack of we keep it family friendly. I poop you not. I have a stack of 40 figures over there that need to be reviewed. That I have not had time to even look at yet. So I said, you know what? I'll just wait for the rest of the Crimson Bat wave to come from Pulse and cancel the other ones. Well, they came in last Wednesday or overnight, Wednesday to Thursday. They charged my card for Falcon, CoverGirl, the second Crimson Bat that I ordered, and whatever the other
Outback.
one is. Outback. But everything came into stock. So Thursday morning, I thought, you know what? Let me try something, because I did not pre-order Marauder Barbecue because I wasn't sure if I really wanted him. But he was in stock. So I was like, let me order this barbecue in stock from Pulse and see if it gets here before the other figures. Well, the other figures just updated today that they should be here tomorrow. They're coming from Atlanta, which is nice. Usually when they ship from Atlanta, they're here like the next day. Meanwhile, Marauder's Barbecue got here Friday, and I reviewed him today. And that review will go up next week right here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. So yeah, I guess the takeaway here is don't pre-order anything. Just wait for it to come in stock and it'll get to you a lot faster, which seems kind of lousy to me, but what are you going to do? I've got my,
or barbecue was not invited to the barbecue and he was just sitting at the warehouse like
just sitting there waiting.
Nobody loves me. I'm just gonna go hang out with Phantom.
I got nowhere to be. I might as well get over to Dave's house and let him review me.
Or as we learned from the Ultimates, you can put a pre-order down and wait 2 years for them to ship, or you can wait till they get released,
right?
Place an order for them and get like 25% off.
All right, it's enough out of you. Is there a problem with your connection here? I think we might be losing you. But anyway, I dug this figure more than I thought I would. So check out that review. It'll be going up next week. And then we also got, or I got, the Cobra Escape Pack, the Super 7 April Fool's release for this year. I also reviewed this today. This will go up this Thursday on the Needless Things YouTube channel.
But fast.
Yeah. Oh, this got here. April Fool's was Saturday.
Saturday.
This got here the Tuesday after that.
Wow.
And it's wonderful. Like, I totally understand people who don't want 5 points of articulation G.I. Joes, but this is not about recreating the G.I. Joe toy line. This is about recreating the wonderful weirdness of Sunbow, and they have done it spectacularly with this set. So this review goes up Thursday. So I'm very, very happy with this. It's awesome. Something that I'm not very, very happy with that is also there. This review is already live. I don't think we talked about it yet. This is the G.I. Joe mystery box from whatever the mystery box company is. I don't remember. Oh, you know what's really funny? It's Pyramid America. And this is almost like a pyramid scheme because I bought this and I'm going to be pawning these items off as prizes at Joe Fest because this box was full of junk. Nowhere near $55 worth of stuff. I mean, it was like somebody could put price tags to add up to $55 on what was in this box, but nobody would actually pay $55 for what was in this box. So check that review out as well. It is already live on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Oh, and I also got Noel. You mentioned your Indiana Jones. I haven't gotten to open him yet, but I'm pretty excited about that one. Okay. Oh, it's time to figure out the screen share. It's our technical snafu of the week. Let me get everything set up here because we got to talk about this one. my friends. I am excited. Why are you asking me what app to open this with? Is this the first time I've used this computer? Ridiculous. All right, let's get this opened up, get that opened up. While we're doing that, what's happening in the chat? Craig Dukas, I'm totally in awe on how fast the Super 7 pack reached you. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Well, Super 7's all like they pretty much do priority mail, or most of the stuff I get from them is really
Well, that's
fast
true.
turnaround.
Once you get the shipping notice, it gets here quickly.
Yeah. All right, it is time to share the screen. We do that. And we do that. And there he is, the Mezco 112 Collective Storm Shadow. Did you guys get an opportunity to take a look at this?
Yep.
On your, you guys are pretty. You collect what you want in GI Joe. You're not lunatics like me that kind of try to have it all. On the scale of temptation, where did this guy fall for you?
Well, seeing as how I'm not really into the ninja characters, I would say he fell a solid 7. The promo pics are amazing. Unfortunately, though, we haven't seen any of the other 112 ship yet.
No, we have not.
So I'm having shades of Tiger Force Outback and the Super 7 Ultimates with their delays, in that I'm cautiously optimistic for those people that are ordering this that you're going to get it.
I mean, you're going to get it. Mezco always delivers. It just takes time.
Before your child graduates college.
So I've got a number of 112 collected figures. I think it's one of the best action figure lines that's ever been put together, released, whatever. But yes, it is not a timely line. Noel, looking at this image, what pops into your head about this guy?
I mean, it's a very good looking figure. The photography is great. The background and everything's great. That's what immediately catches my eye, is how well it's staged. Same with this one too. The facial expressions, we just get the eyes, but they look fantastic. Amazing looking figure. Not something that's on my radar in the slightest, just because I can't justify spending this kind of money on a 6-inch action figure. But no, I mean, yeah, they knocked it out of the park with this one. And again, always like seeing more like high-end Joe stuff out there for the kind of collectors who do want to collect this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm also excited about getting whatever the first one to ship ends up being, which I've got the dates in here. We'll update on that in a second. But just all the detail and the weapons, just everything about this, everything it includes. And I will say this, I don't love the Tommy head, the portrait, but we've got a long time. This is, I've got the date in my notes. I'll have to get back to those. We've got quite some time before this actually ships. So I feel like they'll refine that portrait a little bit between now and then. But tons and tons of hands. You can see one of the hands is holding like a smoke pellet or something. You've got the climbing claws on one of the other sets of hands. And then just cool weapons effects, the shuriken with the throwing effect. I really like the way they've got the scabbards arranged on the quiver. And then just a bunch of extra stuff as well. Mezco, once it gets to you, it will be one of the most amazing toys you've ever seen. So if you're at all interested in the 112 collective stuff, just find one character that you're like, oh, that's a cool character. I'd be interested in having a high scale version of that character, and check them out, because everything I've ever gotten from them has really blown my mind. Okay, let me pull my notes up here and see. Oh, yeah, actually worth checking out. If you're curious about seeing kind of close-up looks at some of these, I just put up reviews of Conan the Conqueror and the 1989 Batman, which, by the way, is the most fastest viewed video. I don't know how to, it's gotten the most views the fastest of anything I've ever posted. It is very controversial. People have opinions about that figure, and many of them don't even own it, and they have opinions about it, which I think is kind of a toy collector thing, isn't it?
That's so odd. to
Right?
have
Crazy.
happen on the
Unheard of.
internet.
But I had it is one of the strangest figures I've ever reviewed. So for this one, actually, this is interesting. So this Storm Shadow right now is projected to come out October to December, because that's what they do. They put in like a 3-month window, October to December of this year, which is a much faster turnaround than 112s usually have. And it makes me wonder if maybe they're a little ahead of the curve and they kind of realized they needed to tighten up some of their shipping dates. So maybe this one is a little closer to being done than they usually are, which maybe proves what I said about the portrait a little wrong. But we'll see. We'll see when it comes out. And for an update on the rest of the Joes that they've got, right now, Snake Eyes is June to August of 2023. Roadblock is June to August of 2023. Destro is March to May of 2023. So he should be shipping any day now. And then Firefly has only been teased. He has not even been put up for pre-order yet. So there you go. That is where we are on Mezco 112 Joes. Let's check in with our chat here. Mandalorian Jedi, Pyramid America sounds like a Cobra Front company. Yes, it does. Wotaz, are they planning to do one of Old Snake from Transformers Season 3, Only Human? I would love to have a reaction figure of that, but what I would love even more is for Hasbro to do one of their crossovers.
Well, they've already done one.
Well, but a functional one.
Okay.
Like an O-ring,
yeah,
where he actually interacts with a Transformer.
Well, they have the 25th style one that came with the 2 drones, the 2 like Decepticon drones.
Right, but that's different from our O-ring Transformers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want a full on
total blank. I'm gonna have to look this up.
Yeah, it was a weird. Wasn't it exclusive to some weird store or something?
It was a con exclusive, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think it was I
don't remember.
San Diego Comic-Con or may have been.
I don't think it was Comic-Con.
Transformers. I think it was either
like it was something weird.
It may have been one of the Transformers. It may have been a BotCon exclusive. It wasn't a GI Joe convention exclusive.
No, I'm sure somebody in the chat can tell us. Storm Shadow looks great, but I won't be ordering one. Look, I understand. It's you just can't buy everything. Craig Dukas, those Mezco 89 Batman legs blew my mind. They're insane. They make no sense. All right. Let's move on to Super 7 Ultimates. Let me get my screen sharing set up again. I got a lot of pictures this time, you guys. I did a lot of planning for this episode. I felt like we really needed to have our stuff together.
And he worked 84 hours in 8 days.
And yeah, right.
Dave doesn't sleep.
That's not too far off. All right, let me get my picture back up here. Do we have a Baroness? We have a Baroness. Okay, so this is Super 7 Ultimates Wave 4. You know what I meant to do before we did this is I meant to talk about Wave 1. They're all, if you can see them, they're all back here behind me. But they've all been reviewed here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. So if you want to see up close, detailed information about those Super 7 Ultimates that I think are my favorite G.I. Joe figures of all time. It's I didn't realize how much I wanted those Joes until I had them in my hands and was like looking at them and realizing like, man, these are my Joes. This is what I wanted. This Snake Eyes with this purple jetpack and this Sunbow rifle and no gloves. Like, look at that. that's when I first met Snake Eyes. Really. Yeah, I had the little black figure, but this is the Snake Eyes that I met when I was a kid. And man, the nostalgia in these figures is so strong. It's so great. Look at this. Look at this pompous little jerk. Now, I will say, and I pointed this out in the review, this Cobra symbol is far too small. And even in the product listings at Big Bad Inn on Super 7, it was bigger than this. This is an issue. It's not a huge issue. It's a small issue. But other than that, look at this windbag with his posable wire cloak. Just unbelievable. These are all great. I'm not going to sit here and go through all of them. Like I said, watch the reviews. So now we know wave 2 is going to be here within the month, I believe. And then wave 3 is supposed to be here around July. Wave 4 up for pre-order now. Let's run through these. Let's talk about this. We are getting kind of soon, but I understand it. Like as much as any other character, we really did need this Baroness. Kristian, do you want to run this one down?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the Baron. When you think of Baroness, this is exactly what pops into your head. So she's got the black outfit, more like the G1 action figure. Her face sculpt is so spot on. However, that windswept hair
with the smirk, if I was to get her, that is what's going to be displayed.
Well, that's what's so difficult is like the default head that's on the figure in this picture, her look of like snooty derision is so perfect. And then the head with the pilot helmet on is awesome, but we're never going to get a Rattler for her to fly around in. So, you know, it's cool that it's in there, but I'll never use that. But you're right. The windswept head, that's the bear. As I was just saying about Snake Eyes, that's the Baroness I met when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then the accessories, this is where, because you may wonder, like, well, maybe somebody likes the Blue Baroness a little bit more, or maybe somebody even more casual than that is like, oh, well, I've already got the first Baroness. Why do I need this one? You need this one because of these accessories. She comes with the Eau de Cobra, the conch shell from Spell of the Siren, the Great Seal of Alaska, of all things, and then one of the Cobra grenades. That does the Cobra Trooper come with that? I feel like we've seen that before. But even if it does, it's cool to get another one because you can't have enough Cobra branded weaponry.
This is true.
And then the snake in the basket with the sleeping gas or the knockout gas. And a little camera. Camera. Because why not? I'm sure it's episode specific, but off the top of my head, I could not tell you.
Yeah.
And then has an action figure based rifle and a Sunbow rifle that it's interesting to see. This is because we've already seen this rifle in the reaction figures. This is just a larger scaled up version of it. Noel, is this the Baroness you need?
If I'm gonna get an Ultimates Baroness, because I have not bought any of the Ultimates Joe figures, but if I was gonna get an Ultimates Baroness, I would probably go with this one. I like the blue one. I do like the nod to that early artwork, but this is the Baroness.
Yeah, I like the blue one just because I like, oh, cool, it's a different version of something that we've seen so many times. But I mean, you got to have this one.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've got these in the order they're supposed to be in. Yes. Look at that smiling gung ho face. All right, hang on. Everybody avert your eyes for a second. I have to move. I need my notes here. I'm flying without a net. Okay. So Gung Ho with. Oh, you know what just hit me, you guys? Is that the proper Gung Ho tattoo?
Oh no, because that's his proper tattoo is the USMC logo, and they're not going to let you do that now.
Well, no, but in the cartoon, wasn't it a little different? I can't look it up right now. One of you guys Google Sunbow Gung Ho, because I feel like in the cartoon he had a different tattoo from the figure. I could be wrong. It might just be the Marine Corps tattoo. But size-wise, it looks right to me. I love the blue and the green. The colors look fantastic. But you guys, somebody in the chat, somebody let us know the sweatband head. It's familiar. Like I look at it and it's not like, well, that never happened. Like I know that was in the show somewhere.
And it was also the later Gung Ho figure was wearing the sweatband.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that. But I do think that's from the cartoon.
Yeah, well, if it's one of these, it probably is. It's either from the original toy accessories or the cartoon, because that's pretty much what they do with these Ultimates.
Mm-hmm. And the tattoo, I mean, obviously the cartoon is a simplified version. It is different, but not different enough.
Okay.
So on Sunbow, the planet is much bigger, and the wings are more like coming out of the knife blade handle on top of the Earth.
But I would say that this one is less noticeably different than the ones on the classified figures.
Yeah.
Were. So he comes with the toy weapon, which is the grenade launcher, the M16, which is cool to see. But I kind of almost would rather him have just had a Sunbow rifle like the other characters have had. But it is nice to see a different weapon. He comes with the crystal that I believe is from the episode where Cobra brainwashed everybody's family members, because those gloves are for carrying that crystal. And maybe that's even what that headband is from as well. I'm just not positive. I you know how hard it is to look up specific things about G.I. Joe? Because like Joepedia is not a reliable resource. Like you may find the episode, but then it doesn't have the detail you're looking for in the description. Like it's actually kind of difficult to look up. We need a G.I. Joe encyclopedia like they did for Masters of the Universe. And then the backpack, which is also toy-based and I think looks great, although it is a little weird that the backpack is toy colors and doesn't match the green of this figure. And then finally, my favorite thing about this entire figure, the little tiny Wolverine.
Right?
From the diorama where they're fooling Cobra Commander into thinking they're mobilizing. That is such a nice little Super 7 touch. That is why I love Super 7. That kind of thing right there. Oh, here we go. Jeff Butler. Welcome, Jeff Butler. Sweatband is worn in the Gray Hairs and Growing Pains second season episode where he and other Joes go undercover at a Cobra spa. Okay. He, Flint, and Sci-Fi get aged into old men while Lady J, Dialtone, and Mainframe get aged down to children. Man, I hope that doesn't mean Super 7 is... Well, if they want to do reaction figures of the little kid Joes and the old people Joes, you know I'll buy them, but we don't need ultimates of that. That's great. Perfect. Thank you, Jeff Butler. Jeff Butler, start working on that G.I. Joe encyclopedia. Get somebody to put that out. Let's talk to Skybound. All right. Next up, Stalker, possibly my favorite ultimate so far. One of my favorite Joes. He also comes with the purple jetpack, but you'll notice, and this is something I'm going to have to look into because I watched a little bit of Pyramid of Darkness, the first miniseries. Well, I watched a little bit of Pyramid of Darkness too, but that's not what this is from. From the first miniseries, Stalker's jetpack has brown straps. If you'll notice, the Snake Eyes figure has green straps on his purple jetpack. So that's an interesting detail. But this Stalker is Sunbow perfection. He's got everything you need for a good Stalker. He's got the little Sunbow laser pistol. He's got the action figure submachine gun. He's got the Sunbow rifle. He's got the M16. He's got a canteen, which is weird, but I assume is going to like plug into his belt.
Yeah, I'm sure it pegs on somewhere.
Yeah. And then the dynamite and the timer, just wonderful. Looks absolutely wonderful. And then we get there is one thing that I think is off about this figure. Do you guys want to try and guess what it is? You guys in the chat are welcome to guess as well.
I'm sure I'll recognize it immediately as soon as you mention it.
All right, I'll go ahead and say it. So this Zartan comes with tons of stuff. He's got the watch band timer for the explosive device down there at the bottom. He's got a knife. He's got a toy pistol, Sunbow pistol, Sunbow rifle, 3 portraits. All the colors look perfect. He looks wonderful. He's got his hood. What he needs is an alternate piece that looks like hair, which I think we have said before on the show would have been perfect for when Super 7 got around to doing a Zartan Ultimate. But I'll forgive them that because he looks great otherwise.
This is one where like there are so many other accessories that he could have come with too, like bars of gold or bags of money or jewels, because Zartan's always negotiating something or holding something in one of these episodes.
Well, we could hope that in the future they might release some battle packs or battle gear to enhance these figures. We can only hope. But the biggest thing about Zartan, I got this a little out of order, is that he will change color in the sun. UV light will change him from his normal Caucasian flesh tone to a Sunbow blue, which his green eyes stand out a little bit more in the blue than they did with the other one. Oh, good point, Ritz Murphy. No backpack or mask either. Yeah,
you would think the mask would be thrown in there.
But I will say this. Well, you know what? The budget probably went into the color change. That's why he doesn't come with more accessories. That's got to be it.
When you think every other figure in this line comes with alternate heads, so he doesn't really need the mask. Just pop Stalker's head right on him.
So
I would actually like, because he's got 3 like kind of angry scowling faces here, and I'd like one where he's doing one of his maniacal smiles.
Yeah, a smirk would have been nice.
Yeah,
I agree. I could have done matter of fact, I would prefer a smirk over the yelling face. Like the angry face is pretty good, but I don't necessarily need the yelling face. I would have rather had a smirk. Okay, so as we all know, these are available for, let's see, Ritz Murphy. The color change didn't work out well with the reaction figure. Just saying. Oh, you know what? And that's, I haven't even opened that one up to try it yet. That's a good point. And I will say this: Super 7's glow type features don't always work great either. But let's hope they've got something special going with this guy. What is that thing with the Cobra? Kevin Riddle, what's that thing with the Cobra emblem? That's an explosive device from it's like the second regular episode of the I think it's the first episode after Pyramid of Darkness. Zartan, what's it called? I can't remember, but it's the explosive device that's triggered by that little watch he's got. Let's see. They do have an accessory pack. I know we're getting there. Be patient. We're on our way to the G.I. Joe Super Pack, which is not called Battle Gear, which is kind of weird. But what this is, if you pre-order these from Super 7, which I have recently been recommending that you do not do that because Super 7 gets their stuff weeks and weeks later than all the other retailers, although Brian Flynn has said that's going to change. If you pre-order directly from Super 7, you get this G.I. Joe Super Pack of repainted accessories that we've already got. These things already came with other figures. They're just different paint jobs, just like the old Battle Gear packs. Do you need it? No. Is it going to be worth getting this if you have to wait an extra month to 6 weeks to get your figures? Probably not. But I really want to have that blister card with those accessories on it in my collection. So I'm doing it again. I'm ordering direct from Super 7 because I want that stupid pack of stuff I already have.
Sucker every time.
Yeah, that's me. There's an old Looney Tunes cartoon where I think it might be Wile E. Coyote. Like his head literally turns into a giant sucker and then turns back into that's me. When you see that cartoon, just think, oh, look, it's Dave. He's about to have an anvil dropped on his head. All right. So yeah, that is wave 4 of the Super 7 Ultimates, and we definitely need to move on because we have predictably gotten pretty tight on time. So we're going to have to, oh gosh, I really want to, Tiger Force Dusty is happening. We saw the pictures. I'll see what it looks like in person. G.I. Joe Retaliation is getting a 10th anniversary Blu-ray, and the only thing extra is that it's in 4K. Ramen Racer, I really wanted to talk about the Ramen Racer, but we just don't have the time. You know what? Do you guys want to talk about the Ramen Racer a little bit?
A little bit.
Should we? Okay. We got to talk about this thing. Chat, do you want to hear about the Ramen Racer? You're like a minute behind, so you get no say. I'm sorry, chat. All right. Let's get this up here. Even though I don't know why every time I do screen share, it puts the picture away. Like I have to reload the image for some reason. All right. So, in case anybody here is not familiar with Ramen Toys, they are a very small independent toy company that makes, I don't know how to describe they're not bootlegs or knockoffs because that's not fair because they're putting out very, very high quality product that's being carried by like Big Bad Toy Store.
Well, they do have some license.
Well, they have the license
for like Silverhawks,
I think.
Yeah.
But then other stuff like they're doing Brave Star, but they're calling him like Sheriff Outer Space Planet or something.
And they have Mask, but they're calling it like Medica or something like
that.
Wait, did the Mask actually get funded?
Oh yeah, the Mask.
Thunderhawk.
They've got 2 cars coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know quite how they work. I know they have a pre-order system, but I don't know. I don't know how they're doing what they do, but they're doing it. And the Ramen Racer, third party. Thank you. That is exactly the term I'm looking for. It's along the same lines of all the people making Transformers that are not Transformers. They're robot morphers or whatever. But it's Optimus Prime, but like he has a different faceplate, so they can't sue him. I don't know what the deal is with all that. Kristian will do a deep dive with you on that one someday.
They always, yeah, Optimus looks like Optimus. They just changed the name.
Yeah. Fledglemus Alpha or something. All right.
But this
is the Ramen Racer. Kristian, you had not heard of this?
I had not, but I have also been incredibly busy the last couple of weeks. So I feel like I'm very behind on my toy news.
Ramen Toys, this is up for pre-order right now. And it is a direct response to the Ghost Rider car.
Right.
And if you get in on the pre-order, this is $175. It does way more than Hasbro's car was going to do. Those light up the effects that you're looking. First of all those flame effects snap on. Those are an expansion kit. The car itself, okay, there it is. So this is the basic car, which has LEDs. It has suspension, individual suspension for each wheel. The hood opens up. I couldn't get images of everything that's in there. If you just Google Ramen Toys, you'll find the website with like way more detail. But it is 1/12 scale. As you can see, there is a Ghost Rider sitting in it. That's how big this thing is. The trunk opens. Reading
the specs, it said that it could hold 4 3
yes.
3/4 or 6-inch figures. So
yeah, the seats push forward. You can get 2 more figures in the back seat there. The engine is functioning. There are LEDs in these flame effects that light up. I mean, it's crazy.
And apparently, just from the quick looking I was doing before the podcast, for any of you who grew up in the 70s and 80s, they're doing a General Lee version.
Well, we're here's the interior. Alan Grant said nope. Well, sorry, this was too fascinating, and I consider it G.I. Joe adjacent because someday we will get a classified clutch, and he would love to have this car.
100%.
There's the opening trunk. There is the engine, which one of the expansion kits is going to come with an actual belt to put on the engine. Family. So there is the orange version. And I just thought this was worth bringing up. I think it looks incredible. The pre-order is $175 for the car, $11 for each of the expansion packs. I think there are 2 expansion packs. And then the shipping gets very pricey. It's $50 shipping for like very slow, like, I don't know how long it's going to take shipping. And then they've got express shipping for, I think, $100, something like that. They explain it on the website. I just thought this was worth mentioning because holy cow, look at what this tiny, tiny company can do for in my opinion, a very reasonable amount of money.
Right. Between what McFarlane Toys is doing with the Batmobile and the Batwing, and now this, I feel like they're sending very clear messages to the bigger companies who I know have to appease their shareholders, but you can make affordable, large scale vehicles for our figures.
Craig Dukas, my Cobra Commander, wants this as his getaway car, but he's upset that there's no option to lease. Kevin Riddle, I'd like the general. Yeah, the orange one is the one that, I mean, they're both awesome. If it were practical, if I just had the money to throw around, I'd get both of them.
You know, this car
Dave needs
actually reminds me of
at least 3 more feet before he can consider buying it.
This looks like the car that Major Blood drove in G.I. Joe Renegades.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So maybe your Major Blood needs this.
Seriously, what's one of the first thoughts I had? Like, I desperately need to be able to fulfill my Cobra driving Uber fantasy.
All right. So yeah, like I said, I just want to talk about that really quickly because it is just amazing to see that thing and to know Big Bad is taking pre-orders right now, but their pre-orders are the full $250 price. The $175 is an early bird special price if you order directly from Ramen Toys. But if you want the security of ordering from Big Bad and the pay it later option, then you can pay the $250 and the $4 shipping. So up to you. I just thought it was worth mentioning. Okay. It is time now for Sound Off. If you're following Audible Interlude on Instagram, I need to hydrate. I forgot my water. then every time we're going to do one of these live streams earlier in the day, I'll put up a post that says sound off, and we ask for what you want to talk about on our live stream. And we've got a few entries here that are going to take up the rest of the show for sure. Mandalorian Jedi. G.I. Joe has had crossover stories with Transformers and a number of other franchises in comic books. What franchises would you like to see G.I. Joe crossover with in the future? And in what media would you most want to see that story take place? Comics, animated series, big budget movies, radio drama, etc. One of you guys want to tackle this first?
So,
Kristian, I'm dying to hear your answer to this.
All right.
Kristian wants G.I. Joe to cross over with Dallas.
Golden Girls.
No, because what is it? Gumball, the cartoon Gumball already did a Golden Girls crossover episode.
Oh, I thought that was your answer.
Oh, no. Actually, so I would like to see, and this would be in comic book form, I would like to see G.I. Joe crossover with the Legion of Superheroes, because the Legion of Superheroes crossover comic they did, oh my God, like a good, 5 years ago with Star Trek.
Oh,
sounded
yeah.
ludicrous, but it was so incredibly well written. And so there is not, and I'm not thinking like Battle Force 2000, I'm thinking like legit somehow the Joes and certain Cobras end up in the future, and there you go.
Okay. I'm down with that. That would be interesting. Noel, have you got one, or you want me to?
I've got an idea, although it's kind of a cheat because they did do a little bit of. There's obviously some G.I. Joe inspiration. But
Okay.
Venture Brothers.
Oh wow. Okay.
But yeah, and I'd like to see it as an animated series, kind of in the kind of Sunbow / Venture Brothers style. I would watch that.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep it weird with you guys. Mandalorian Jedi, the last thing that they mentioned here was radio drama. And what's best known for radio dramas but Doctor Who? So I want a G.I. Joe Doctor Who radio drama crossover, because Brigadier Alistair Lethbridge Stewart working with the Joes and the Doctor trying to keep them all from killing a bunch of aliens or whatever the case may be, I think would make for some really good radio drama. And I just want a Brigadier figure in my Joe collection. And that would be a good excuse to make that happen. Give me an O-ring style Brigadier, Fourth Doctor, and Sarah Jane. Let's make it happen. I need that. Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd buy that. All right, Podcast from the Pit. Everybody check out Podcast from the Pit. Follow them on Instagram. Check out their show. Other than G.I. Joe, what is your favorite toy line? And is there a show or a movie that doesn't have a toy line that you would just be all in on if they did? Work is preventing me from watching live, but I will watch the replay tomorrow. Have a great show. We are having a great show, and I know all about work preventing you from doing things. Other than G.I. Joe, oh gosh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this. Do you guys? Well, Noel, I think we know your answer. Do we though?
Well, it could be the Lego.
Right.
It could be the Transformers. And I've got a couple of other interests as well, but those are the other two. Now, I don't collect new Transformers now, so I would say if anything's my favorite action figure line, it's going to be G.I. Joe. But I still am a Lego collector, and I do a lot of stuff with a community with Lego as well.
Interesting. Yeah, that's I immediately off the top of my head. I thought, it's going to be Transformers. Then I realized, wait a minute, no, Noel, much like Zach, is a Lego maniac.
Yes.
For me, that is really tough But I think, I mean, if we're talking about just toy line, because not like franchise, but just toy line, I got to go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If somebody said you can only collect GI Joe and one other thing, I mean, it would be tough, but I think Ninja Turtles would keep me pretty happy with the various, things that are going on. Although real quick, I want to say the Playmates, the new reissues, some of those are absolute straight garbage. I bought Bebop, and from the waist down, he's just black, no paint at all. Trash figure. But plenty of other Ninja Turtles toys at all times to keep you collecting. So that's I think that would be my second. Kristian?
Man, there's so many because I still very much so actively collect Star Wars, Transformers, Masters of the Universe. But if you told me I could only have GI Joe and one other toy line, it would probably be Masters of the Universe.
And that's really on any given day it could be that or Ninja Turtles for me, but I think Turtles hit me a little closer. But yeah, that's a tough call. And as far as show or movie that doesn't have a toy line, well, first of all, it's tough to narrow that down, right?
No, I was actually just thinking about this the other day, and sorry, folks, it's obscure, but there is an 80s cartoon called Galaxy High.
Oh, yeah.
I have wanted toys from that since I was a kid. I think the character designs, even though they're cartoony, they very much so fit in that Super 7 aesthetic. And sure. I would buy every single one.
My answer to this question.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Were you?
Well, I was just going to say mine's a cheat, but I do feel it's legit because there has never been a proper toy line. My gosh, somebody give me some James Bond toys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know they've done 1/6 scale figures. I know there's die cast, but there's never been like a James Bond action figure line. What is happening with that? It's such an obvious, whether it's Super 7 or Mezco or Hasbro, I don't care who gets it. I want James Bond figures so bad, and I have my entire life.
Yeah, and there's so many that you can do.
Yeah, it would be endless.
Yeah. No, for mine, mine's sadly never going to happen, at least not through any official channels, but I've been wanting Spaceballs toys for 35 years.
Oh, man, yeah, that's a great call.
But it can never happen because that was part of the agreement.
Yeah. But seeing every time I see Dark Helmet playing with the little figures, I'm like, I want those.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And
yeah, that was part of.
I want the Winnebago, Lone
the
Stars.
Space Winnebago. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
those
with
3 3/4 action figures.
For those that may not know, explain why we don't have Spaceballs merchandise.
Well, Spaceballs was a parody of a little obscure film series from the 70s and 80s, something about like Wars in the Stars, I think. And there was a guy named George Lucas. So basically one of the conditions for them making this movie, I mean, even though it's fair use, it was satire, it was parody, was the agreement that he could not actually sell any toys. So Mel Brooks could not make any profit off of toys because that's where George Lucas was making his money in 1987 when Spaceballs actually was going into production.
All right, back to the chat. Some other suggestions. Craig Dukas, Quincy, Wotaj, Love Boat.
No, they made Love Boat toys.
Well, no, this is for G.I. Joe crossovers.
Oh, sorry.
We're going back to the last thing.
Like, I think there's Love Boat toys on the shelf right now from Super 7, aren't there? Did they do?
No, I don't think so. No. We saw them at a that crazy Needless Things YouTube channel where you are right now. There's a toy hunt at a Louisville, Kentucky antique mall.
I did see that. Yes.
That had the Love Boat figures. Love Exterminator. exciting and new. Mandalorian Jedi, the correct answer is obviously Rambo, The Force of Freedom, big budget live action movie. Jeff Butler, Jack Bauer of 24 would shake those snakes. Craig Dukas, if Hasbro is listening, I'd love G.I. Joe audio short stories similar to what Batman has on Spotify. Yeah, that would be a very simple thing to do. Wotaj, only if it's Tom Baker era Doctor Who. Let's see.
Real quick.
Wotaj, Bebop has terrible frostbite. Bebop is just terrible.
Before we get out of the crossovers, I did get a text from somebody saying a G.I. Joe Teen Wolf crossover. And I have to say, I am all about that.
Are we talking Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf or MTV teen drama Teen Wolf?
I think the Michael J. Fox.
Okay.
No, I say we blend them both together. Finally, we give the fans what they want and bring both of those worlds together.
Right.
I need a Styles action figure anyway.
All right. Silent Interlude, Legends of the Hidden Force. Let's get more O-rings. That's right. So everybody tune in tomorrow to the Legends of the Hidden Force interview. You talked about the idea of an Optimus APC on your last pod, but we've had 0 O-ring announcements at all for close to a year. I'm worried that Hasbro quit. Also, my preference would be a Joe-compatible Optimus Prime in semi-truck form, plus Joe-sized and interactive. Look, yeah, if we could just pick, that would be the Optimus I would want. More so than him being a G.I. Joe vehicle, I would rather just have a G.I. Joe-sized Optimus Prime. But that doesn't appear to be what they're interested in. Although at this point, who knows if they're interested in anything at all. That wasn't really a question, but that was a good statement. And then finally, Daniel Rod 35. There were a few G.I. Joe references in Peacemaker. Hang on, I lost my spot. Here we go. Okay. John Cena's t-shirt at WrestleMania. Is he just a fan, or is he pushing the idea of being in G.I. Joe in some sort of way? So,
I'm sure he was a fan because he was the right age for it.
He is absolutely that age. And for anybody who doesn't know, this is what is being referenced is very clearly G.I. Joe inspired gear that John Cena was wearing at WrestleMania that 3 times I got on the WWE website and put all of that stuff in my cart and then said, I don't need this. And then at one point I thought, oh, maybe I'll do a John Cena cosplay at Joe Fest. No, I don't need this. And then like one more time later in the night, I was like, man, I really just because to have that kind of pop culture acknowledgement of G.I. Joe is a special thing to me. So I'd like to have this stuff. And now I'm like getting ready to go back and once we're done recording and put it in my cart again. Because I think this is great. I don't know. None of us know John Cena, but like Noel said, he's the age. Yeah. Like there's no doubt in my mind. Obviously he's very aware of G.I. Joe, but he would be the right age to be a big G.I. Joe fan. And also it lines up with kind of his persona. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, look at the movies he's made. He made The Marine, but he also was in Bumblebee, essentially playing like a Duke-style character in that movie.
I can't look at that photo without thinking Ernest P. Worrell is on steroids.
We'll just put that away now.
And now that's the G.I. Joe crossover I did not know I needed.
So, but yeah, I am absolutely down with I'm down with John Cena being involved with G.I. Joe in some way. And I a year ago I wouldn't have thought I'd feel this way. I would pick him over The Rock at this point.
Well, hey, we did Joe Mania just a couple weeks ago, but I know we cast him elsewhere, but knowing CM Punk, of course, has his Cobra tattoo, and John Cena has his Joe gear now. Cobra Commander, CM Punk, Duke, John Cena. There's your movie.
Perfect. Done. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Hasbro, I'm telling you, we work cheap. We get the triumvirate. We'll produce the best GI Joe movie anybody's ever seen.
You got to
No
figure
TV
out that
show.
Mattel license first, I'm sure, though.
No, it's fine. It's fine. All right, it is time now. We've got just enough time, I think, to get in a little Joe and Tell real quick. Do you guys have Joe and Tell for tonight? I've had this one waiting for like weeks now, and honestly, at this point, it's almost like past, but I want to show it off anyway. I got this at the Atlanta. What the heck is what did we go to, Noel? Atlanta Vintage Toys.
Atlanta Vintage. Oh, the toy yard sale.
Yeah. So I never had a Mauler when I was a kid. It was one of my most wanted vehicles that I never had. I don't know why I didn't have it, because my dad, like I've said before, my dad was very into Joe and like definitely like very supportive. Listen to how snug this still is. Can you hear that? I don't know, maybe not. But I mean the turret.
We did that first time.
Okay. It's in great shape. I don't remember what I paid for it, but it was a great deal for the tiny number of parts that it was missing. I had to get the antennas. One of these was broken at the back, like just a little bit. So I ordered another one of those, and I needed a mud flap. And that was it. And then he doesn't have his microphone, but I don't care because I never would have known he had a microphone, like, because I never had it when I was a kid. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm just thrilled to have this thing. It's a beautiful piece. Like I don't know if I've ever even seen one in person, to tell you the truth. I don't think any of my friends had it either. So I'm stoked because this is like the Mobat. Let's be honest, it's a little weak. The Mauler is a killer tank. So that is my Joe and Tell.
Stuck in traffic jams.
All right.
See if you can see it in mine over my shoulder, but that is where I also got my whale that I believe is right over my right shoulder there.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have as much as they've had in the past, but it was a fun time. We had a great time hanging out and talking to our pal Kelly too. All right, who's up next? Kristian, you got some Joe and Tell?
I sort of do. I can't really show it, but please go take a look at my Instagram.
He can Joe it.
Right? What little free time I have had over the last few weeks, I started working on a new mountain cave entrance diorama that's scaled for my classified figures. So I've got the front side finished already, got a few photos with figures going on, and hopefully not this weekend but weekend after next I'm going to be able to start working on the sides. So
yeah, I still haven't speaking of not being able to do things, I also bought, I kind of missed this one. I also bought that Terror Drome, which I've talked about here, but I haven't cleaned that thing up yet. I haven't had time. It's still sitting in the other room, just waiting for me.
Yeah, I've got mine is right here next to me, and I got some, I got a lot of cleaning up to do on it, but I'm also been replacing some parts on it. This part.
Oh, you son of a gun!
Very expensive.
You found one?
And I have another one coming. There was actually the person who was selling this had two of them at a very reasonable price. This piece. The clip is broken, but there's a 3D printed solution that you can't see.
Oh, nice.
That I found as well.
Cool. All right.
And I've got my Joe and Tell.
Noel, what is your Joe and Tell?
Mine was not my whale or this thing right here. No, I probably have mentioned it before. I know I've mentioned on other shows that I was on, but a couple years back, my friend Doug lives up in Portland, was planning on coming back to Atlanta where we live, and said, when I get there, I want to give you all my old childhood Joe toys. Then a pandemic happened in 2020, and so he and his wife stayed in Portland and then moved back down here, but he still wound up shipping all of them to me. And one of the things that was really cool out of that collection was some of the figures that he had customized as a kid. And I'm going to hold these up and see if you can see them, because these are This is a straight arm rock and roll.
Oh,
As you
yeah,
can
yeah.
see,
Whoa.
his beard has been painted black.
And he's got gloves.
He's got gloves.
Huh.
This is one of the ones that's not as elaborate. This right here is also an 82 breaker.
Oh, wow.
Who's got a camo pattern on him.
That is great.
Yeah.
And Airborne, which is his O-ring, needs to be replaced very badly. But
Whoa.
he has a putty molded beret on his head.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and a little camo pattern painted onto his legs. There you go. Gung Ho, who's got some camo marks like paint on his face. Oops, his leg just fell off. I guess there goes the O-ring. Again, some camo on the legs.
Wow.
Did a really good job.
Yeah.
And this is,
That's
he's
better than a lot of the Hasbro stuff.
And then
we've looked
finally,
at.
a Duke that he customized also did a beret out of some sort of
Oh
putty.
my gosh.
The shirt is black. This is like Night Force Duke, basically,
Yeah.
with this camo pattern on his legs. But yeah, this is cool. And it was like, although it was nice to get a bunch of really nice intact like 82 and 83 Joe figures that I could add to my collection and stuff. And I've told 1,000 times, like, I appreciate this so much. This is the kind of stuff that I was like, man, this is cool, because this was like you putting your
unique.
hard work into this as a kid. And these patterns, like, if you didn't know, you think that was factory.
Yeah, that's
printed
amazing
paint right there.
Well, anybody can go buy a straight arm rock and roll, but nobody else has that rock and roll.
Right. So I need to clean up the O-rings on these. I pulled them out because I was going to swap out the O-rings and display them kind of on a separate shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I would love to tell everybody watching and listening that you'll be able to see pictures of these on Instagram, but Noel has literally never sent me a single picture of anything to put up on the Instagram page. So I cannot guarantee that. No, it is a lie. You sent me the wrestling stuff. You sent me a few things.
I've sent you a few things.
But send me pictures of those and we will post them on Instagram. All right, that is all the time we've got for this live stream. It's been awesome. It's so nice to be here with you guys again and not at work. Our music is by Andy Sanford of electricminnowmusic.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Audible Interlude Podcast, on Twitter at G.I. Joe Audible. Kristian, you mentioned your Instagram. Tell us what that is and where we can find his Instagram, obviously.
You can find me on Instagram, all my toy photography, and on flickr.com, which is another photo sharing website under the name Legion Cub.
Noel, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Finest?
The Finest is a G.I. Joe costume club, international costume club. We got members all over the world, but we got garrisons all over the United States as well. So if you're interested in dressing up like your favorite G.I. Joe character and helping us raise money for a fantastic organization called Canines for Warriors, check out thefinestcc.com or go to the Finest Recruitment Center on Facebook.
That is all the time we've got. Noel and Kristian, thank you so much for sitting down and talking about something that we love, G.I. Joe. Everybody that was here in the chat, everybody listening to the audio version, thank you. As always, Yo Joe.
Cool.